Welcome back, Astro listeners, to Star Lady Soul Reader Network. This is Medium Monk, and as always, I'm here with my shining star, the Zodiac Star Lady. Hi, Star Lady.
Hello, Medium Monk.
Of course, Star Lady is indeed Kim Marie, the Managing Director for Evolutionary Astrology Network. EAN continues to certify new astrologers, and yet we also provide a lot of materials on our website for your next level of soul growth. Just call that number there on the website, 605-348-5111, for any questions on the EA course, the Astro Library, or to schedule your personal time with Star Lady in a consultation. All right, so announcements. We have, it's the end of the year, of course, so we're going to get pumped up for our 2024 annual forecast. This is the year-long version of the transits coming up in a very exciting year. You know, many people think we might be bridging into the Aquarian age, and we have a lot of Uranus and Aquarian energy upon us. We will talk about that in detail. January 3rd, 6 to 8 p.m. Mountain Time. That's the webinar date. You're going to want to go get on the Astro News list because I've been putting out event newsletters where you can enroll and then get your registration link for the webinar. So be looking for that. Get on our Astro News list. In addition, in just a couple days, Mercury is going to turn retrograde. We do a Pay It Forward webinar as well. So be looking for that in your inbox as well. So a couple of exciting events coming up at EAN for the new year. So with that, I think you wanted to discuss your EA Zoom presentation this last weekend.
Yeah, thank you very much, Medium Monk. I participated in the first of 3 EA Zoom panels forecasting in 2024 over the course of those 3 days. Various astrologers look at various subjects, and I participated in a panel where we looked at the North Node eclipses and a couple of the planetary aspects, and we dipped into the 2024 presidential election. So you can go to the EA Zoom YouTube channel and find that panel discussion, which I participated in on December 10th. And we're recording this December 11th on a Monday before the new moon on Tuesday, December 12th, that will take place at about 21 degrees Sagittarius, the day before Mercury turns retrograde. And so one of the things I noticed about this new moon of Sag is that the sun and moon are making aspects. I counted it. I'm going to have to 6 planets. I did write it down. On this exact new moon, we have them aspecting sun and moon, aspecting Venus, Mars, the conjunction, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, and Chiron. So this is a very busy, active new moon. And I would be inviting of you to really set some intuitive new moon intentions with this new moon at 22 Sag. And oh, by the way, because I'm thinking of it, because it is a new moon, if you live in dark sky areas of the country, this is a great time to get outdoors on the evening of the 13th to 14th, especially those 2 evenings for the Geminids, help me pronounce this one, Medium Monk, Geminids, meteor shower. And you can look at it in the Eastern. Geminids? Thank you.
I'd go with Geminids, yeah. Well, the Leonids are in the summer months, right? So let's call it the Geminids.
Yes. Because they are taking place on a new moon, they're going to be fairly easy to see. Best to look at them in the middle of the night. And you look to the eastern part of the sky to see them if you want to. We're up here in the northern plains, medium arc of Star Lady, so getting outside in the middle of the night is not our thing. We look at the whatever you called them, the Leonites, or just a minute ago. We'll do it in the summer months, but not so much in the winter months. It's a little too cold up here, but hey, go outside and enjoy them if you live in the warmer climates and you can lay outdoors where it's warm. So again, this is a new moon at about 21 degrees Sagittarius, and because it is so active, it can have many of us full of our holidays, social plans, socializing with friends, with family, the good old gift exchange. We are watching the food exchanges taking place in our world. Set that intent. New Moon Sag. What are your own visions for yourself, for the planet? What do you want to do moving forward? Set your intents for this, and you've got a lot of planetary energy to help you. Sun and Moon are kind of waxing semi-squares to Venus and its opposition to Jupiter, which means they're making waning sesqui-squadrates, sesqui-squares, and starting to say to Jupiter, not quite so comfortable with the Venus-Jupiter opposition, which, by the way, occurred December 9th at about 6.5 degrees Taurus, Scorpio. The new moon can be digging deep with those two a little bit. And, of course, the Mars conjunction, sometimes maybe some of the distortions of this new moon is I'm right and I want my way and you're wrong. And so we take a step back and say, what's the broadest level of truth I can understand? And how do I act, Mars, upon that level of truth in my highest and best ways? And, of course, this new moon is making a last quarter square to Neptune, freshly direct, at about 25 degrees Pisces. Last quarter squares, crises in consciousness. This can add to the intuitive hits. Neptune's direct. We're moving perhaps off of a little bit of the confusion that might have been there last week around its stationary direct. We can have more of those intuitive aha hits coming through. And so how do we want to move forward? And of course, the new moon is making waning trines to Chiron, slowing down, getting ready to turn direct right after the full moon on Christmas. And so we can even set the intent of what is it that I want to heal with myself at this point in my life. What is it I want to heal within myself? What is it I want to heal on the planet at this point in my life? And so again, active new moon, and it'll be quite helpful to put that intent in there because Mercury turns retrograde the next day, December 13th at 8.5 degrees Capricorn. December's a pretty busy month. Neptune direct, December 6th, 25 Pisces. Mercury retrograde, December 13th, 8.5 Capricorn. Chiron direct, December 26th, 15.5 Aries. Jupiter direct, December 30th at 5.5 Taurus. There's a lot of planetary change of direction, which kind of becomes almost start, stop. It stirs up the energy. And so it's very helpful if we can be grounding ourselves. Now, this Mercury retrograde goes from 8.5 Capricorn all the way back to 22 degrees Sag. It turns direct January 1st, right on the new moon spot. Again, I'll go over this on Wednesday, December 13th with our free Mercury retrograde webinar. Mercury aspects 7 planets, not including the sun. We include its interior conjunction to the sun. We have Mercury aspecting 8 other planets. That is quite a bit of activity. And so, yes, this is going to be an active Mercury retrograde. Oh, helpful to slow down right now. Look at things from a practical perspective. Capricorn. Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. What old authority patterns do you have to throw off? What old resource patterning are you ready to throw off? You know, Mercury retrograde in Capricorn points to Cancer. We have to open up emotionally and work towards feeling our way through. Here's the EA mantra for the winter solstice, which will come on December 21st when Sun enters Capricorn, that shortest day of the year that I always celebrate in the Northern Plains. The Capricorn mantra: I achieve my goals with emotional self-reliance. I achieve my goals with emotional self-reliance. Well, Mercury retrograde at 8.5 Capricorn is throwing off old goals that no longer serve us, throwing off old work routines that no longer serve us. It's asking us to touch base emotionally. And I have a tendency to say during this time of the year, especially with the holidays, depending on how your familial relationships are, it might be a fun time. It might be an uncomfortable time. It might be a lonely time. It might be an extremely busy time. The holidays in general just, again, create extra energy. And so to literally have the full moon at 5 degrees Cancer, Capricorn come the day after Christmas, and then have Chiron go direct the day after Christmas, it might be a quite emotionally sensitive time. So, step back once in a while, honor those emotions, ask for your intuitive hits, ask for your intuitive information. The interior conjunction where Mercury retrograde passes back over the sun is December 22nd. That is 0.5 Capricorn. That comes right after that winter solstice. That's going to be the time period of aha moments for this Mercury retrograde. What is it I am to understand here? What is it I am to know? Now, Mercury's going to then retrograde back into Sagittarius just before Christmas. Might be a little feisty around Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. So one more time, let's revisit the Sagittarius mantra with Mercury retrograde over the holidays back into Sagittarius. I understand the relativity of truth with others. I understand the relativity of truth with others. And so perhaps we can just take a deep breath as we're busy with whatever takes place this time of the year for you, and really pace yourself. You know, there's a few somewhat uncomfortable aspects. We, again, talked about the fact that the new moon is going to have that last quarter square to Neptune. We may not see eye to eye on everything. Venus is going to continue on in Scorpio, and on the winter solstice make an opposition to Uranus retrograde, December 21st, at almost 20 degrees Scorpio Taurus. You know, we have to I would say with this Venus in Scorpio, and right now Mercury going retrograde in Capricorn, we may want to be a little careful with resources. Be a little careful with resource giving and receiving. Don't bust the budget. Perhaps spending time with someone is the most valuable gift that you could give them. It's possible that Venus and Scorpio making these oppositions to Jupiter and Uranus, if you're in relationship, there may be discussions around those resources. If you're in relationship, maybe we have different spending ideas for gift giving. Maybe we have different values around our budget at this time of the year. Make some time, Mercury retrograde, for multiple communications around all of that. And then especially as we get to that winter solstice time period, and that Mercury interior conjunction to the Sun, 0.5 Capricorn, that can be a very good intuitive hit time and review time, again, over budget, over material values, Capricorn, even over work values, Capricorn. There is a tendency, I've noticed this over the years, and I'm very grateful that, Media Monk and I are blessed to be self-employed, so we have a little more control over our schedules maybe than those who punch time clocks. But I really noticed that when Christmas Eve and Christmas Day fall on the weekend, especially at the end of the weekend, it gets to be very busy, intense, frustrating. When Christmas Eve falls on Wednesday, everybody takes the rest of the week off. When Christmas Eve falls on a Sunday, and we got to be back to work on Tuesday, it just feels like we don't get time off. And add on a Mercury retrograde, which we don't have every year. I can't remember how often it cycles. I want to, off the top of my head, say it cycles every 6-7 years over Christmas. But don't quite quote me on that one, okay? But here we are again with Mercury retrograde over the holidays. And I'm just checking, next year Mercury will finish up retrograde before Christmas entirely in Sag. It'll still be busy, but it won't be quite as intense or frustrating maybe as this year. But again, it's almost a double whammy. We have the Christmas holiday, for those of you who celebrate it, falling at the end of the weekend, the beginning of the week, and it's Mercury retrograde. One more time. Pace yourself. Breathe deep. Work through it just as fast as you can. And with Chiron turning direct at 15.5 Aries, right after Christmas, be as gentle as possible with yourself and others. All right, one more time. I'm going to go into more in depth on the Mercury retrograde, December 13th through January 1st, 8-9 Capricorn to 22 Sag, Wednesday night, the 13th. I'll do my annual all the way through the year forecast Wednesday, January 23rd. Meaty Monk, comment?
Wednesday, January 3rd, right? Wednesday, January 3rd.
One day, say, never mind, Wednesday.
You said 23rd, but that's okay. I think you meant January 3rd because we don't want to get that far into the new year without knowing what's going on here in January. We don't. Yeah, it's always a great one. It's very comprehensive. You know, I don't know if people know this, but you know, Star Lady does a intense amount of research with the transits on not only these new moon, full moon podcasts, but for EA Zoom, of course, for all of her clients. So you know, we'll be printing out a lot of paperwork around the office here. Let's just say that. And
I've already printed out the paperwork. I've already started the prep work.
Well, just make sure you join us and get on. You know, be looking for you in your inbox for that event newsletter. You can register, pay your enrollment fee right there. Get the webinar registration link right after you enroll. So that's a real easy process. Most of you know for now. Always feel free to call us here at our offices, 605-348-5111. And, I mean, on a Mercury retrograde holiday, move with joy and careful passion on this always mutable journey to the core of our souls. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.